Okay, here we are, week 6. We get a second chance at the Millionaire Maker. What did we learn last week? That if you didn't have Peyton Manning, Demaryius Thomas, and Matt Forte in your lineup, you weren't going to win that week. So things didn't turn out well for us. We had some injuries in the running back position. It just didn't go well. So this week, coming back another week for you, DraftKings optimal lineup for the GPP. Let's try and win that million again. So for those that don't know, our tool is fully customizable. You can customize based on a number of elements. We have an optimal lineup for you already set up based on our standard settings, but it isn't recommended that you use this. It's recommended that you add your own settings, add your own tweaks, add your manual adjustments, and you can find on our site how to do all this. But you can see some of those adjustments here: Vegas line, defense against rank, location, stadium type. All of these factors are already factored in. You can take them out. You can go into your manual tab, manually adjust projected points for players you like. You can exclude players that are injured or suspended. You can add a lineup guarantee, and that means that these players are going to be in your lineup. And I utilize this every week. Okay, so I come to the table with my research and with a few players that I just want to be heavy on and have a lot of coverage in each week. This week, in looking at our salaries, you look at the Eli Manning, he's pretty cheap. He's going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. He's going to have to throw a lot. It's the highest over-under for the week. They're going to have to throw to keep up. I like Victor Cruz in a bounce-back week. I know Odell Beckham's in the mix. I know Randall's getting a ton of targets, and Donald will take some red zone looks. But Victor Cruz is the clear-cut number one. And I think that after a down week, he's going to be faded a bit by other people. And I like that stack with Manning. Bishop Sankey. Now, this is a bit of a value pick, $3,500. But Sankey is going to get his shot. If Sean Green is out, he could be in for a heavy workload against Jacksonville, which is just one of the worst run defenses around. And this could be it. Also, maybe a bit of a contrarian play. I'm sure people will have coverage on him, but maybe not as much as others. Matt Forte. After last week, he's going to be heavily owned, but he's super expensive and difficult to work into your lineup. But he's going up against Atlanta. He's going to tear them up. Atlanta's rush defense is awful. It doesn't matter if the Chicago Bears fall behind because Forte is a great pass-catching running back, as you saw last week with over 100 receiving yards. So this is my lineup guarantee. I'm going to go to my DraftKings Optimal tab, and I'm going to click Run Model. Then you click OK, and we'll see what we have. Okay, so Percy Harvin, I don't mind. He's a big play receiver. He's at home. He hasn't been doing much. People will probably be fading him, but he has the chance to tear it up for 2 touchdowns in a game. So I don't mind that. AJ Green, as we know, he's likely going to be out, so I'm going to add him to my exclude players and run this again because I don't want to see him in a lineup. He's just too risky for me. I actually really do like Sanu, so I could potentially add him as a guaranteed, but we'll see what happens without this. Okay, so this is a really interesting lineup. Okay, Marshall and Jeffrey are going to be heavy stacks this week in Atlanta, and I love Frank Gore. Last 2 weeks, he's had over 100 yards since Harbaugh has been dedicated to the run again. They've shown up well. Panthers, I'm not too keen on. They haven't looked great. They looked a little bit better last week, but at Cincinnati, I don't love them, but with that price, it might be worth it. So I really like Vernon Davis is also iffy, so I'm going to have to exclude him. I don't want to add anyone in this lineup that might not play or is coming off a heavy injury that could leave the game. So I'm going to take out Vernon Davis. The other thing is I don't want to stack 2 wide receivers with a running back. It's possible to have a big game, and in this game it could happen, but I might have to exclude one of these guys. I do like Marshall more in this game. Okay, so here we have, once again, I kept Frank Gore, which I'm happy with. I'm okay with Harvin. Nelson's a beast. He gets a ton of targets. Last week, he had a small game because they went ahead so much, and Eddie Lacy tore it up. So I don't mind Nelson. Miami is a bit of a tough matchup there. I really like Cameron as a sneaky play. I actually have him in some of my other lineups. He's second in targets last week. going up against Pittsburgh. They're gonna have to keep up with them. Pittsburgh is a pretty tough run defense, so I don't mind that at all. The only thing is Jordy Nelson is a little bit sketchy for me. He's a number one, but Miami is a tough opponent at home with the pass. But you know what? I like this overall. Panthers might be my only question mark. I prefer the I'm sorry. I prefer the Ravens this week. I prefer Seattle, so I'm gonna actually exclude the Panthers and see what I get. The Bucks at home against Baltimore, and then Demaryius Thomas, which you know what he can do last week. I actually am fading Demaryius this week. It might be at my own demise because they are going up against the Jets. Buccaneers at Baltimore, I don't know. That's a tough one. They are at home. Maybe get some turnovers. Flacco had a really rough game last week. And we get Roddy White, which I do like. Roddy White at home is a different player. He's cheap. And so I don't mind this lineup. I could see this as a really solid 50-50 lineup and winning a good percentage. So I think I'll enter this lineup in a 50-50, and I like what I get. So in a GPP format, it might be a little bit light for me. You have to have a defense that's really tough, that puts up 2 touchdowns. So I'm not sure I'd roll with this with the GPP. So anyway, make your adjustments. And make your adjustments based on the game you're going to play. So this is a good solid 50-50. I can definitely see myself finishing in the top 50% with this. All right, good luck.